Answer is D. Pick a number from 1 to 20. The winning numbers today are 8, 9, 12, 14, and 15. Homework check. Bring it up here and show me what you have. To divide exponential expressions and simplify completely. Here is a practice problem to start. Here's an example. This one is going to have 2x to the second y to the negative third over 3x y to the negative second. All of this to the negative 1 power divided by the quantity to the negative 2 power of 4x to the negative 2y over 6xy to the negative 1. Simplify inside the parentheses before you do anything else. The 2 over 3, nothing can happen with that. But you have x squared over x, which is just an x on the top. Y to the negative 3 and y to the negative 2, they trade places, and it becomes y to the second over y to the third. What does that reduce to? Y to the second over y to the third. Reduces to y and where? On the bottom. So we keep the negative 1 power and move to the other side. 4 over 6, what does that reduce to? 2 over 3. This x to the negative 2 goes to the bottom and combines to make a what? X to the third. And then this y to the negative 1 goes to the top and combines to make a what? Y to the second. Everything still to the negative 2 power. The negative 1 power over here on the left means that you flip this. So you have 3y over 2x. And we're still going to divide. On this side, again, we flip, but we have to square everything in the parentheses. So the bottom goes to the top and becomes 9x to the sixth. The top goes to the bottom and becomes 4y to the fourth. Now, when you divide by a fraction, you flip and multiply. So we're multiplying by 4y to the fourth over 9x to the sixth. Cancel wherever you can. 3 into itself once, into 9 3 times. 2 into itself once, into 4 twice. And then go straight across to get 2y to the fifth over 3x to the seventh. And it doesn't look like anything else can be simplified. We're going to need such a smaller marker there. So we're going to have a really strange parenthesis to start with. Then x to the negative second, y squared over x to the negative third, y to the negative 1. All of that to the negative 2, but divided by the quantity to the negative 2 power of x to the fourth, y to the sixth, over x to the second, y to the seventh. On the practice problem here, this and this, the negative exponents, means they change places. So you would have x to the third on top and x to the second on the bottom, which simplifies to an x. This goes to the top. The top one doesn't move. It's positive. So you have y to the third over 1. Everything to the negative second. On the right side, this over this cancels to x to the second on the top. And this cancel to just a y on the bottom. On the left-hand side, this negative 2 makes everything flip and multiply the exponent by 2. So the 1 goes on top, and then you'll have x to the second, y to the sixth on the bottom, divided by this, which is going to flip and become y squared over x to the fourth. So we have 1 over x squared y to the sixth, but now it's multiplied by the reciprocal of this. And we can do some simplifying here. You have x to the fourth over x to the second. That's just x to the second on the top. And these combine to make y to the eighth on the bottom. For this bonus problem, 5 times something is 25. What is that something? 5. So x minus 2 must give you 5. So what minus 2 is 5? 7. So on this bonus problem here, 9 plus 21 is 30, squared is 900, divided by 45 is 20, times 2 is 40, divided by 4 is 10, squared is 100. This practice problem is 3x to the second, y to the fourth, over 6x, y to the fifth. All of that is to the second power, and you're going to divide by 4x to the negative 2y over 6xy to the negative 2. All of that is to the negative 1 power. Simplify the left in the parenthesis. This becomes a half, but just put a 2 on the bottom. This becomes x on the top, and this becomes y on the bottom. Still squared. On the right side, this becomes 2 over 3. And this goes to the bottom to merge and become x to the third. This goes to the top. It merges to become y to the third. Still to the negative 1 power. Square this side to get x squared over 4y squared. And then on this side, flip everything. 3x to the third over 2y to the third. Now we have to flip and multiply. So x to the second over 4y squared is now multiplied by 2y to the third over 3x to the third. Cancel this 2 and 4 to get a 2 on the bottom there. So when you go straight across, you'll have this and this, x to the second, y to the third, and then on the bottom, 6x to the third and y to the second. Now simplify. The x's, you'll be left with a 6 on the bottom, but the x's, you just have an x on the bottom and then a y on the top. On this bonus, you would have negative x equals negative 6 plus 3, which is a negative 3. So if you divide this negative 3 by negative 1, you should get an answer of 3. For this bonus problem, 3 plus 4, this equals 4. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 13 is 20, squared is 400, plus 100 is 500, divided by 125 is 4, to the third power is 64. Try this one. 2x to the negative 2 over 4x to the negative 3, everything to the negative 2, divided by 6x over 3x squared. All of that to the negative 2. Simplify in the parentheses on the left to just get a 2 on the bottom, and this is way too large, but I'm going to have to do the first line with that. So a 2 on the bottom, this goes to the top, this goes to the bottom, so they would cancel out to just have an x on the top. And then on the right side, 6 over 3 is 2 on the top, and you'll just have an x on the bottom. Now we can lower this marker. There we go. So flip this one and square it to get 4 over x squared. And then on the right side, flip and square to get x squared over 4. Now you have to flip and multiply. So 4 over x squared times 4 over x squared is 16 over x to the 4th. Oh, no homework? There it is.